Is your Dresden game low powered, but you still want to be magic? Are all of your friends pure mortals, but you want to be just a little better than them with the supernatural? Is everybody running around super high powered Knights of the Cross, Knights of the Fairy Court, wizards, and you want to be a low powered magical sidekick? Well, look no further than the Minor Talent template for Dresden Files RPG. As usual, we're going to look at the lore, mechanics, and my personal thoughts on the Minor Talent, which can be found on page 80 of the Your Story rulebook for the Dresden Files RPG. Let's start with the lore. It's implied in the Dresden Files that any human with enough training, and I mean a lot of training, can learn at least a little bit of magic, usually a trick or two. A lot of magical folks might not even realize they're magic, and a lot of magical people don't develop the kind of power you need to become wizards or even sorcerers or focus practitioners. These are your minor talents. They can do one thing, unlike a focus practitioner that can do a broad area of magic such as pyromancy or ectomancy. The minor talent has one trick. They might be able to see the future or read people's minds or get a sense of emotion. They might even be able to do some really external magic things like snapping their fingers and producing a lighter like flame. But generally speaking, they're not going to have anything super powerful in their repertoire. As far as the mechanics go, we actually see this very hard in the game. The lore of the minor talent is very hard coded here. Unlike the other supernatural templates, these guys actually have a maximum number of refresh that they can spend on supernatural abilities, and that is 1 point of refresh, 2 with GM permission, but this is rare as it kind of defeats the purpose. They must have a high concept that speaks to what they can do, such as Weeps Cassandra's Tears or part-time retail, full-time empath. The character may then take a single supernatural power, and regardless of if your GM allows you to go 2 refresh instead of 1, you can only have 1 supernatural power. And that's going to have 1 refresh cost, as I said earlier, maybe 2 with GM permission. Specifically, the psychic powers and minor ability categories should be considered. They have no further options supernaturally and may not exceed 1 refresh cost, say it with me, without GM permission. Even with stunts, they're rarely expected to exceed -2 refresh, whereas most of the other low-level templates in the game have at least -4 or 5 or 6 refresh. As for my personal thoughts, they actually come in at 4 out of 14. They're some of my favorites. This template is the perfect way to introduce new players to the world of Dresden, as this represents them having supernatural powers but not really knowing anything about the supernatural, which is perfect for players who have never read the books and didn't bother with the lore section at the beginning of the rulebooks. They're also just low powered enough that your players need to be creative and lucky, but not so underpowered that they're useless in high level play. They get a ton of fate points, which is amazing. This is how the game balances out low powered templates and high powered templates. The more high powered you are, the less fate points you're going to have. The more low powered you are, the most fate points you have. In addition, this is probably my favorite for a group that all picks the same template, as the game really, really shines at low-level play with some supernatural stuff going on. So, in conclusion, really consider the minor talent if you're wanting to play a spellcaster. You probably won't be disappointed. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great evening.